Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today to learn more about our Master of Science in Project Management and our Master of Professional Studies programs at St. Louis University. My name is Katie Schaefer, and I am the Marketing and Recruitment Manager for Into SLU. Now, I'm thrilled to have with me today Dr. Randy Robertson, who is the Director of Project Management, and Srikanth Mudaganda, Interim Associate Dean of Academic Affairs and Director of our Analytics program. Now, before I continue into some general information about St. Louis University, I will allow them both to introduce themselves. Randy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Certainly. Thank you, Katie. My name is Randy Robertson. I'm the Director of the Undergraduate and Graduate Project Management programs at St. Louis University. I have a PhD from Indiana State University, and I am a practicing project manager. I was a project manager in aerospace manufacturing for a number of years before I began working at teaching at St. Louis University.
Thank you so much, Randy. Srikanth, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, certainly. My name is Srikanth Mudaganda. I'm the Interim Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, mostly on the graduate side in the School for Professional Studies. So part of what I do is oversight of all of the programs in the school, but I'm also the program director for the Master of Science in Analytics. So that means I have my primary focus is on analytics. So today I'll be talking about the Master of Professional Studies and explain how analytics fits into the combination of things you can do for the MPS degree.
Thank you, Srikanth. Now, it looks like we have a small group today, but if anyone has any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat box and we'll make sure they are addressed at the end of the presentation. And I will also ask you for now to everyone stay on mute unless you're presenting, and at the end of the presentation, we'll take questions. I'll start off with a general overview about St. Louis University. SLU was founded in 1818. We have campuses in both St. Louis, Missouri, and Madrid, Spain. Our Madrid campus actually was the first U.S. campus in Europe, so that's pretty awesome. SLU is a private Catholic Jesuit university. So what this really means is that we take a holistic view and approach to education. We believe in educating the mind, body, and spirit at SLU. Right now we have almost 13,000 students enrolled. It actually may be over that now, but over 1,200 of which are international students representing 82 countries. At St. Louis University, being more of a small private university, we have a pretty low student to faculty ratio. That's just about 9-to-1 with an average class size of 28 students. So our students are really able to get a lot of one-on-one attention from our faculty. SLU is also a high research institution. In the fiscal year 2021, we were able to dedicate $53 million to research. The U.S. News and World Report just ranked us number 105 as a national university of over 4,000 U.S. universities. We are also ranked number 56 as a best valued school. So students who come to SLU are really getting the best value out of their money. We are one of 14 Catholic universities to receive a Carnegie classification of high or very high research activity. As I just mentioned, the amount of research dollars that we were able to dedicate last year. St. Louis University is also ranked number 2 most engaged in community service. We are a top school for making an impact. St. Louis University was the number 1 college for jobs in Missouri, where St. Louis is located, and the number 2 best city for jobs in the United States. So both of the programs that we're going to talk about today are within the School of Professional Studies. Now, SLU School for Professional Studies has been providing personalized career-focused programs since 1963. Other SPS programs, aside from project management and professional studies, include analytics, cybersecurity, information systems, leadership and organizational development, and strategic intelligence. These programs are also available as concentrations within the professional studies masters, which Srikanth will discuss shortly. Firstly, though, let's get into project management. Randy, can you start out by telling us a little bit about the SLU's project management program?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm happy to. Let me first talk just briefly about what it is to be a project manager. In case you're not familiar with the field of project management, it's kind of unique in that anybody from any discipline can engage in project management. The way that organizations, the way that people, companies, countries grow and progress is through projects. Projects are temporary endeavors that take you from where you are to where you want to be. If you're Apple, it could be, designing a new cell phone. If you're a drug company, it could be a new drug. It could be a new skyscraper. Just so many things. Everything that we see around us, when we see things progressing, when we see things changing, it's changing through projects. And so whatever discipline that you're in, whatever you're interested in, if you're in IT, if you're a nurse, if you're an engineer, each of those disciplines, they grow. The way that they grow, the way that they progress, the way that they make new things is through projects. And so in the project management, you study how to engage in projects, how to do complex things, break them down into manageable work packages, and then complete complex projects and be able to manage them and manage the large teams that are required to enact these projects. So the program at St. Louis University, it's 33 credit hours. It's taught by professionals, practicing professionals in the field in a variety of disciplines. The quote here, a master's in project management equips you with the tools that you need to successfully manage complex projects. That's what project management is. I mean, you manage projects throughout your life. You plan parties, you have an addition to your house, those sorts of things. Those are all projects as well that we all engage in. The difference in project management is you develop a formal set of tools and understand how to take very, very complex projects like a new skyscraper, a new aircraft carrier, those sorts of things, and make them into something that is manageable, that is possible through human endeavor. So our greatest human endeavors have always been the result of projects, and that's what project management is. Go ahead with the.
Thanks, Randy.
Sure.
I love that you said that almost anyone in any discipline can really benefit from a project management graduate degree.
Uh-huh. Absolutely, yeah. That's something that makes it unique. So many of the people that take project management courses, they'll take an introductory class and they don't really understand what project management is, and they don't. After taking the course, you kind of understand that it's a way for you in your discipline, if you choose to become and to grow and become a manager of other people. Project management is a good way to do that. So in the Masters of Project Management program, we have students from all different disciplines. So we have lively discussions from a variety of students that have different work experiences, different study experiences, but they're bringing them all together to learn how to make progress, to perform projects in an elegant and efficient way and help their companies.
That's wonderful. So you talked a little bit already about kind of what students are going to learn in this program. Do you want to kind of elaborate on kind of the registered education provider?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The Project Management Institute is a worldwide organization that recognizes, they gather information on the best practices in project management and publish them as a book called the Project Management Body of Knowledge. And they also certify project managers around the world. So they're a certification organization that you can get, for example, the Project Management Professional certification, where you take a number of classes, you have experience, you take a test from the Project Management Institute, and if you're successful in the test, they give you the Project Management Professional certification. The importance of that is that when employers are looking for a project manager, having that certification is an indication to the organization, to the hiring organization, that you have achieved a certain level in your study and in your practice. So the St. Louis University is a registered education provider of the Project Management Institute, meaning that the study that you take here qualifies you to take exams from the Project Management Institute. So it is quite a bit of work, and it is to maintain the registered education provider status. We do quite a bit of work with the Project Management Institute to make sure that we are in lockstep in what we're providing in our education.
Thank you so much. That just shows how much St. Louis University really values our students and what they're going to contribute after graduation, that they put forth that work on keeping that. Okay. So something that a lot of our students are always interested in is STEM, and project management is actually getting a STEM designation. Would you like to speak a little bit about the new concentration that'll be available in fall 2023?
Sure, I'd love to. Starting right now, we have a master's degree in project management. It is a general degree. As I said, it's designed for people from all different sorts of disciplines. Starting in fall of 2023, we're going to have a concentration that is specifically for information technology project managers. And that particular concentration, students in that particular concentration will be designated STEM students. This is a STEM program. And so I understand that has implications for an extended OPT, which is, I believe, going to make the opportunity much more attractive to students, to international students that are planning on coming to the United States to study. With regard to career possibilities, all you have to do is look on the major employment boards and look under project management to see the popularity of the field, and just to see the wide variety of organizations that are interested in hiring project managers. There's some information here on pay. The pay for project management is, in general, quite attractive. It certainly helped to attract me to the field in the first place. So there are a lot of advantages to project management. Besides the fact, if you're the sort of person that is interested in building things and making things grow and progress, there are a lot of responsibilities associated with it, with project management, but there are a lot of rewards, as potential rewards as well, if you're the kind of person that enjoys this sort of challenge.
Thanks, Randy. Now let's talk a little bit about the program roadmap. So if you're going to be entering an into graduate pathway for project management, you can see on the right here the academic English courses that you'll take while you're also taking program courses. Now, I know this text on the left is a little small, but Randy, can you discuss some of the courses that students can expect to take within this program?
Sure. The master's programs at SLU, at the School for Professional Studies, have a number of core courses that students take regardless of their program, and some of those are included here. The first course that you'll take is Project Management 5000. That's Project Management Principles. And that is your introduction to the field of project management, how you're going to fit into it. And we go through basically everything in project management from beginning to end on not on the deepest level. In the following classes, we delve into each of those topics more deeply. But we give you an overview in the first term, the project management principles. And also you're taking a course, ethical evidence-based decision making. That is a course that all of our master's students take. And that is a program that teaches you some of the critical thinking skills that you're going to need in order to do the sort of research and critical analyses that graduate students need to take. So, in the second term, in spring one, project selection and initiation, those are the starting steps towards a project management. As an organization, it's very, very important that you decide which projects are good for you, which projects are going to yield the benefits, the best benefits for what you're investing in them. And also at that time, you'll take applied analytics and methods. Analytics is creeping into every single discipline that we have. So project managers, we deal with data a whole lot. And so having the ability to organize the data and use the data usefully is extremely important to project managers. So that's applied analytics and methods. Following semester, we have planning projects, which is the next step once you've chosen your projects, is setting up a plan, and that is a very, very big part of project management. And also the master's project. This is, you see that it says master's project part 1. The program, all of the master's programs have a master's research project, and it is in 3 separate 1-hour courses. And you will work one-on-one with the director or with a senior instructor in the program. And that will be your culminating project. It's where you take all of the different things that you're learning and put them into one large master's research project that will culminate at the end of the 3 terms in an analysis and report on a topic that you've chosen. And finally, there's a team leadership, ORLD 5350 team leadership program, which teaches you some of the leadership skills that are obviously extremely important to a project manager.
Thanks, Randy. I know these aren't all of the courses that are a part of the project management program, but I didn't want to get that text too small, so I just grabbed the first 3 semesters. So thank you so much, Randy, for all of the insight into SLU's MS and project management. If there's any questions for Randy, just go ahead and post them in the chat now while you're thinking about them, and we can look at those at the end of the presentation. Now we will move on to SLU's Master of Professional Studies.
Yes, certainly. So the Master of Professional Studies degree is a fairly unique degree in the sense that it's a combination of specific subject areas that you choose. So it's more or less a build your own degree approach that you would use when you're part of this curriculum. So presently, because you're international applicants, one main consideration for you is the STEM OPT that was referenced by Randy earlier. So in that regard, there are 3 existing master's programs at SPS from whose curricula you can draw to build your Master in Professional Studies. Those would be analytics, cybersecurity, and information systems. Now, project management as a whole is sufficiently general. So as Randy was describing earlier, there's a subset of courses within that which leads to a specialization, which is STEM qualified. So that part is not imbued into the MPS. Nevertheless, if you are interested, you could take an elective from the project management course, which also falls into the program, I should say, which also falls into the STEM designated subset. We'll talk about that once we get into the details. But essentially, to quickly summarize, the MPS degree is something that you would want to pursue if, say, you want a combined hybrid generalist degree, and the exact combination that you choose depends on your professional goals, depends on your interest and aptitude. So for example, if you combine information systems with, say, analytics, you would have a combination of courses in, say, we'll talk about that. If you could jump into the next slide, Katie. Yeah, so as I mentioned over here, these are the highlighted ones, the ones in the reddish brown font. Those are the ones that qualify for the STEM OPT as part of MPS. However, the MPS as a whole is really much more than just these degrees. So for example, you could combine project management with, say, organizational leadership to have very specialized roles, leadership roles, which are heavily based in project management. On the other hand, let's say you want to work in fairly niche, cutting edge technology roles. You might choose to combine cybersecurity with information systems. And that particular combination is STEM qualified. Along the way, let's say you also want to add an extra specialization in evidence-based decision making. You might choose to combine, say, analytics or cybersecurity or information systems with the third item there, evidence-based decision making. So if you want to specialize in leadership positions where quite a bit of decision making is made, but also want to add a technology component, you could choose that combination. So we could spend the next 3 hours talking about various combinations and the nuances and all that. But the basic idea is that this is a degree that is much more flexible than a typical monolith curriculum which specializes in, say, one area. So if you're looking for a combination that opens up a wide variety of professional opportunities for you, this is something that you might want to consider. Another consideration for you is if you already have some existing work experience and you want to build on that, then the combination that you choose could be something that builds on that towards leading you to your next professional set of goals. So when you jump into the next slide, you'll see, pardon me, there are, as I mentioned, a variety of careers. Now, this slide you've seen is something that you saw previously also. In the region, in the St. Louis region, there are lots of high-tech companies in IT, engineering, pharmaceuticals, natural sciences, things like that, for which the MPS degree prepares you. St. Louis also has a relatively lower cost of living. So combined with the existence of high-tech, high-paying jobs with relatively low cost of living, after you graduate, once you get an internship, which is STEM OPT, there's a good chance you might move into a full-time position and your number would add to this, the stats that you see over here on the right side. Now, these are not the only combinations. These are some typical combinations of jobs that you might get according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics based on the specific combination degree that you put together. Next slide, please.
Sorry.
Go ahead, please.
I was just going to mention, same as project management, Into does offer a professional studies graduate pathway, which combines academic English study, academic skills development, and the curriculum courses. So now, Shrikant, sorry, can you speak to some of the coursework that students are going to be doing during their program?
Yes, certainly. As Randy mentioned earlier, there is a combination, a two-course combination that is common to all of the degree programs within the School for Professional Studies, all of the master's degrees. So just as your compatriots who are in other programs, you would also be taking one class in evidence-based decision-making and one class in research methods and statistics. we believe this combination adds to the strength of the foundational knowledge you have, which is going to help you in any professional situation, regardless of the industry. But then if you're doing the MPS degree, as I mentioned earlier, you can do the hybrid combination. So there you'd be drawing upon a 4-course sequence from one of the 3 STEM disciplines, if you are looking for the STEM OPT, and a 4-course sequence from any of the other ones. So for instance, if you want to have if you're looking for a role which is a combination of analytics with something else, cybersecurity, software development, project management, decision-making, leadership, any of these things, one of your primary, maybe the primary certificate you'll be getting is the analytics. And the second certificate is something that you can mix and match based on the exact set of goals you have in mind. Right, so the first combination of 4 courses from analytics, you combine with 4 other courses from any of the other disciplines that we've listed earlier in the couple of slides before. So those 2 things together, 4 and 4, come up to 8 courses. You combine those with the 2 courses, you get 10 courses, that's 30 credits. The remaining 3 credits would be what is called as a master's research project. So here, it's a 3-1 credit hour sequence. So in the first part, you go and formulate a problem that you are going to solve. In the second 1 credit hour, you're going to design a project, essentially to solve the problem, where you bring in your knowledge of research methods, the specialized knowledge from these 2 certificates. And in the third credit hour, you actually go and implement it. So through a combination of perhaps an internship or a guidance under a program director, you can come up with a project that showcases your skills and also can be used as part of the portfolio that you're building, that you can use when you're applying for internships and jobs. So overall, the program is 33 credits, 30 credits of structured courses, and 3 credits of a very applied master's research project. If you could go to the next slide, please.
Now,
so this is a short list of so many companies. Katie's going to talk about those, but as I mentioned earlier, there are so many companies spanning a variety of industries. So the MPS degree, really based on the combination, helps you in applying for any of these companies.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Srikanth. Any questions for Srikanth? Again, put them in the chat and we'll talk about those very shortly. So this is kind of a map of the general St. Louis area, blown up a little bit. Right here, you can see where St. Louis University is located in what we call Midtown St. Louis. Very primely located next to some really large companies. Right next to SLU is a place that we call the Cortex District. And in the Cortex District, some of the big tech companies are located, like Microsoft, Square, DuPont. We'll talk a little bit more about the Cortex District on the next slide. But of course, students also find jobs at other companies like Boeing, Energizer, Pfizer, Enterprise. Really, St. Louis has a lot to offer in terms of jobs after graduation. So now a bit about the Cortex District, which is actually the #7 innovation district in the US. Now, Cortex is home to SLU's Research Innovation Group, which works on technology transfer and commercial partnerships. Cortex, actually, I'm not sure if this is still the case, but they were kind of doing a weekly cafe, which was a great place for students to connect with members of the technology community in kind of an informal setting. Also kind of located in downtown St. Louis, we have a T-Rex Technology Entrepreneurship Entrepreneurship Center, which is a co-working space and technology incubator. Now, SLU is within walking distance of the Cortex innovation community, so that's really beneficial for our students. So I've mentioned that both project management and professional studies offer graduate pathways via INTO. So what are the benefits of taking a pathway program in either project management or professional studies? Well, the benefits are really that you can gain language, research, writing, and presentation skills while taking classes in your program. Also, INTO students have their own academic advisor who helps them throughout their pathway program. At the same time that you're in your pathway, as I mentioned, you're taking these kind of academic English and study skills classes at the same time that you're taking program courses. So you're earning credits towards your degree while you are gaining these valuable skills. So you'll also be taking courses with both international and American students because of this. St. Louis University gives students access to all the most modern teaching facilities. Students in an INTO pathway have access to all of SLU's activities. We don't consider pathway students INTO students only. You are fully SLU students. Also, you'll have access to experienced university instructors. Of course, this is the case if you entered direct entry to SLU as well, but you'll have access to some really great English language professors who are there to support you in any way that they can. So in terms of other support, every semester we have an international student orientation. For spring, that is taking place on January 12th, which is a few days before classes start officially. We have a lot of cross-cultural support available. I mentioned the academic advising that students will have if they enter an INTO pathway. We also have a lot of tutoring available by other students in our English Language Center, which is a part of INTO's building. Students will also have access to career services. That's of course true for all of SLU students. SLU has a really great career services center that students can go for support on building their resumes, help finding internships and opportunities at any time. We also have an international center. It's the Center for Global Citizenship. They do a lot of really fun events throughout the year. SLU always has activities and events going. We have over 200 different clubs and organizations. We have an Indian Student Association, a Korean Student Association. We have a swim club, tennis club, anything that our students can imagine starting a club for. Somebody at SLU typically has already done so. We also have access to health and wellness via our recreation center. So now I'll talk a little bit about admissions and scholarships and how to become a Billiken. So I will start off by mentioning that due to the extreme popularity in both of the project management and professional studies programs, SLU has had to close enrollment for the spring 2023, the spring 2023 semester. So students can no longer apply for these programs as direct entry students for spring 2023. Now, pathway students, if students are applying for a pathway, they can still do so for spring. So students that are wanting to apply to these programs know that fall 2023 is available to apply to. Now, these programs can be applied to via INTO's Partner Portal Global application, both for pathway and direct entry. Both of those options are on the Partner Portal. So admissions requirements for the SLU School of Professional Studies. So if you're looking to enter into one of these programs as a direct entry student, you're going to want to have a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. The language requirements for direct entry, you're going to be looking at an 80 TOEFL, a 6.5 IELTS, or a 110 Duolingo. You're also going to, it's actually kind of recommended that you submit some references, and you don't have to have work experience, but that is another thing that is recommended as well. You'll also be wanting to submit a professional goal statement and your resume. Now for our pathway programs, your GPA can be lower than a 3.0. We will look at GPAs that are about a 2.75 on a 4.0 scale. Language requirements vary depending on the number of semesters that you're going to have in your pathway program. For a 1 semester pathway, you're going to need a 105 Duolingo score, 6.0 IELTS with 6.0 subscores in both reading and writing, or a 75 TOEFL with a 17 subscore in reading and writing. For a 2 semester pathway, again, we'll be looking at a 2.75 GPA on a 4.0 scale. And the language requirements are 95 Duolingo, a 70 TOEFL with a 13 subscore in reading and writing, and a 6.0 IELTS with a 5.5 subscore in reading and writing. So you can kind of see the kind of credits, 33 credit hours you're looking at. And then if you're in a 1 semester pathway versus a 2 semester pathway, you can see how many credits are going to apply from each semester towards that degree, and then how many credits are going to remain towards your degree. Something that everyone is always very, very interested in knowing is scholarships. How much are you going to give me to come to St. Louis University and study project management or professional studies? So if a student is entering in a pathway program, we offer kind of regional scholarships that vary between $4,000 and $14,000, depending on where, what region of the world you're from and how many semesters you're going to be in a pathway program. That application date is rolling and it's automatically applied. It's not something you have to apply for when you are applying for your master's degree. And again, it can be applied for via the partner portal, and you can contact your INTU representative for any questions about that. For direct entry, scholarships differ a little bit. Type and availability depends by your program. Typically, students are awarded between $2,000 and $10,000. And these scholarships are awarded at the time of admission based on a holistic review of your application. So that is the end of our presentation today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'm going to look to the chat box for any questions.